Endpoint Removal Process. Welcome to this tutorial where we will demonstrate the different steps that are needed to remove an endpoint of the Intel EMA web interface. This process is typically used at the end of life of a PC. 3 steps are needed to remove an endpoint of the Intel EMA web interface. If it is an Intel vPro PC, you will need to unprovision the PC. The Intel EMA agent then needs to be uninstalled. Finally, you can remove the endpoint from the tenant. Step 1. Starting from the General tab. We'll start the process by navigating to the General tab of an endpoint. The first step, unprovisioning the PC, is only needed when the endpoint is an Intel vPro PC with provisioning completed. Otherwise, you can skip this first step. Unprovisioning the Intel vPro PC can only be done when the endpoint is up and running. The first bullet point of the power status should be green. The Intel EMA agent needs to be connected to the Intel EMA server. So, the second bullet point should also be green. If both bullets are not green, you will not be able to unprovision the Intel vPro PC. Step 2. Unprovisioning. Click on Actions. Select Provision Intel AMT from the drop-down menu. The Remote Intel AMT Provisioning window pops up. Click on Remove Provisioning. You get a pop-up window asking to confirm the unprovisioning process. Click Continue. Close the Remote Intel AMT Provisioning window. The Intel AMT setup status in the General tab should show Deactivate Completed. Or refresh the web page until you get this message. Notice also that Sierra is not connected anymore. Step 3. Intel EMA Agent Uninstallation. The first step, unprovisioning the Intel vPro PC, is completed. The next step, uninstalling the Intel EMA agent, is showed in a separate video. As a result, the Intel EMA agent is not connected anymore. Do not reboot the vPro PC or wait too long after unprovisioning the vPro PC to uninstall the Intel EMA agent. Otherwise, the agent will discover that the Intel vPro PC is not provisioned and will restart the provisioning process. Step 4. Remove the endpoint. Since the Intel EMA agent is uninstalled on the endpoint, the second bullet is yellow since there is no connection anymore with the endpoint. The last step is removing the endpoint from the tenant. Back to the General tab of the endpoint on the Intel EMA web interface. Click on Actions. Select Stop Managing Endpoint in the drop-down menu. Click on Take Action. You will return automatically to the list of endpoints belonging to the tenant. The endpoint will be removed from the Intel EMA web interface. Step 5. Important. The order of these steps is quite important. The Intel EMA agent is needed to remotely unprovision an Intel vPro PC. As already mentioned, do not reboot the Intel vPro PC or do not wait too long after unprovisioning the Intel vPro PC to uninstall the EMA agent. Otherwise, the agent will discover that the Intel vPro PC is not provisioned and will restart the provisioning process. Never remove an endpoint from the tenant if the endpoint is still provisioned. When you remove an endpoint from the tenant, all information will be deleted, including the Intel AMT administrator password. That password could be needed to unprovision the Intel vPro PC. If you remove an endpoint from the tenant without uninstalling the agent will reconnect with the Intel EMA server and the endpoint will reappear in the list of endpoints of the tenant. Congratulations! You've successfully learned to remove an endpoint of the Intel EMA web interface. This process is needed if you want to stop managing a PC.